literally first day of my job, never worked before, and I was told here are 4 people who will report to you, who on an average had worked for about 10 years with Citi before that, right? So I was completely, I mean, they literally threw me on the deep end, and I had to find a way to swim. Literally first day of my job, never worked before, and I was told here are 4 people who will report to you, who on an average had worked for about 10 years with Citi before that, right? So I was completely, I mean, they literally threw me on the deep end, and I had to find a way to swim. But that's what helped. That's what, because then you have no option. If you want to continue to have a job, you better find a way to manage all of those amazingly experienced folks. And just by virtue of having done an MBA, you're suddenly their boss, right? It was bizarre. But then that's where you dig deep, you find a way to, handle those expectations, handle their careers. You're suddenly responsible for their careers and their families, right? So that was crazy. To your point about what's helped, mentors, etc., I think I've been very lucky, I'll be very honest. I mean, it's been, I've had managers, bosses, most of them anyway, who've been mentors and bosses in equal measure. The one skill, and maybe this is, if you take nothing away from my session, maybe just remember this. The one thing that's helped me maybe the most in all of that and navigating these last 20 odd years is how well you network, right? And that is something that I would encourage all of us to do actively, whether you are starting off in your career or whether you're 15 years into your career, 20 years in your career. Just go crazy on networking, right? You'll get rejections, you'll get, some folks will never respond. But every time you get a chance, if you're in a, if you're meeting somebody from the corporate world, if you're meeting somebody especially from a space that you want to be in, you have to get to know them. Make sure you make that connect. Out of 10 people, maybe 2 people will respond. But I promise you, those 2 people will be invaluable to your careers.
Any other mistakes that you made that you would, so one, you just said that you realized networking very late in your life, but any other mistakes that you'd like to highlight, which I think all of us can learn from?
I think the one thing that stands out when I look back is I did not maybe enough think about or deliberately make decisions about my career. Early enough, at least. And I'd say maybe that is, another thing. If I were to go back and change, maybe I change that. I might end up at the same spot where I am today. That's beside the point. But I'd like to have consciously reached this point rather than, for a large part of my career getting, just going with the flow, so to speak. So I'd say, for all of you guys, wherever you're just starting off and all of that, consciously think about your careers, how you want your careers to, to progress. It's a cliched question, where you want to be 5 years from now, but that'll just help you take decisions right now to get to where you want to be, in the future.
One of the other things that I wanted to touch upon is, given that you spoke about, read a lot or crypto or whatever, right? How do you stay abreast with what's happening right now? How do you upskill yourself? How do you know that your job is not in jeopardy, that you are absolutely relevant even today?
If I go into a zone where I think or start to become complacent about my job, that is where the problem starts, right? So I think it's good to be on the edge at any point of time, because that's what keeps you going, keeps you wanting to upskill yourself that much more. Because that it's almost a little bit of fear that you'll need to make sure that you're ready for either your next role or your next job, or tomorrow for that matter, right? You've heard of elevator pitches and whatnot. You bump into your CEO, etc. All those scenarios, right? That really happens. I mean, we are a company of 90 people. My CEO walks across to me and has a conversation, every second, third day. And you better know what he's talking about, right? So I think it's important to not get complacent, to be on edge, not on edge, but constantly.
But so that is so at an emotional level and this conscious ye karna hai. But how do you do it? There has to be also a solution for this problem, right?
Yeah, and that's easier said than done, because all of us, whoever's working has extremely busy lives. Everyone's just, there's just so much going on in everyone's personal, professional lives, etc., that it's very hard to do. But then the way, at least, I try to do that is, and to be fair, I think the pandemic really helped there, is that I block time to upskill. I just consciously, you block time to have lunch, take another half an hour to upskill, to read, make sure you know what content to go after, because otherwise there's an ocean out there, right? You will get lost in what you're reading up also. So be clear on what you want to read. Decide that this is the topic I want to learn about. Let's, as crypto, for example, if you give 1 week to crypto, half an hour every day, just read up on crypto. It's not that hard to do if you're able to just block time and do it. It just takes, conscious effort. There is no payoff immediately, but I promise you, what you read up today, you will talk about 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or 5 years down the line, and it'll be tremendously useful. As you go further into your careers, to find that half an hour will become harder. That I guarantee you.